Ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin, $60,000. What does that mean? Why is it happening? Is it true that a bunch of virgins and low level entrepreneurs really know what they are talking about when it comes to cryptocurrency and investing? What is really happening here? We are going to talk about that. I am Mark Melnick, and this is the Newsbeat Show. By watching this video, you are pausing this, agreeing to it in its entirety. Thank you. Thank you for reading that. All right. Bitcoin is over 60,000. You see? They told you so. They told you that Bitcoin was going to explode through the ceiling and everything was going to go up. Oh man, I should have bought Bitcoin. I should have bought it, is what a lot of people are saying, right? I remember when it was this and this and this and this and this. You want to know the funny thing about things going up? People always get on the train. The loudest voices can be heard during the extremes of certain movements in stocks and in cryptocurrency. You see, I know some people have a little bit of a short term memory, so please, I am going to just do everyone a favor here, and we're going to just refresh your memory just a little bit. Just a little bit more. You ready? You ready? Okay, let's look at a weekly chart of Bitcoin. It was only back here, back what 1 year ago, back in March, where this Bitcoin was, according to the Coinbase exchange, excuse me, according to the BitBay exchange, but similar across the board, $4,001. All the way over here, all the way down here. $4,001.01. It was a $4,000 Bitcoin. And if you remember before then, it dropped. It was as high as, 11,000. And then you had, as it was going up here, every single dipshit on the internet was sitting there talking to you, telling you, oh my God, this thing is gonna go up forever and ever. And I have core possessions in it, and I have all this stuff, and projections, and this, and this, and this, and they're showing you their little stupid technical charts because they have absolutely zero fundamental information. They don't even know what makes the sky blue, but they do know that Bitcoin's going to $20,000, right? So what happened afterwards? Bitcoin hits 11,000 and boop. Oh well, not too good on your price term projection because it dropped to 4,000. It's useless. Nobody's going to use it for anything. It sucks. You see? Let's talk about, and you know what you do? You get that remember that dude with the white hair and the white beard, like remember, and he had all those commercials on the internet, and I forgot what it read, but just paraphrasing, it was like, this schmuck called the market collapse, and what happens is he didn't. He said the market was going to collapse like a year and a half ago, and then like a year and a half later, like we had a little bit of a down move, and then they started pasting his face on, like, and he had like that serious somber face, like one of those faces, like, I just had like a jalapeno enema, and this is what I look like. Click here. And he had that face. You started seeing that guy all over the place when Bitcoin was falling here to $4,000. That is what happened. That is what happened. You saw Bitcoin. That's what they were projecting. Now, fast forward a year later, a grain of sand in the moment of time. A year later, in this Bitcoin, I mean, the exchange was closed over the weekend, but certain exchanges that were open, goes ahead and it breaks $60,000. $60,000 on a simple search right now on Google. It shows 59,000, showing a high of $61,283.80. And that is for the Coinbase exchange, just so we're clear. Over the weekend, we have a move to over $60,000 on Bitcoin. Now, what do you hear? Oh, now all of a sudden everybody is buying it, and Tesla takes a position in Bitcoin, and this company does, and Square does, and all these miners and these little shit companies like Riot. Remember who was it? Wasn't was it Caruso Cabrera? Who was that? Who went to the Riot headquarters? Who was it that went to the Riot headquarters and was trying to break in to show you what a scam? It was Michelle Caruso Cabrera. And let me just it was back then, and this is from February 16, 2018, and CNBC investigates the public company that changed its name to Riot Blockchain, because all those trading services who change their names and have a new thing, they're trying to repackage the same old bullshit and present it to you differently, right? We all know it sucks. Maybe, you know, that's why the Newsbeat Live Room is still called the Newsbeat Live Room. Psst, shh, don't tell anyone. CNBC Michelle Caruso Cabrera came in and she investigated Riot and saw its shares rocket. Oh my God. She went over and I don't know if you remember, and she's showing, they're showing the big bad person who owns Riot, because he he he's the evil guy, this dude. He's the guy who wanted Riot Blockchain to start mining Bitcoin. Bitcoin is in the shitter. You suck. You're a scammer. You're a bad person. And that's what they wanted you to believe. So they had Michelle Caruso Cabrera. They didn't want to talk to her. She came in with her film crew to the door. And remember, like, she was trying to open the door, and like they're trying to like not let her in. So she literally, remember, she shoved her foot in between the door to stop. It's all over the internet. Go look at it and watch it yourself. And she's trying to do it. And the guy's like, yo, like, get this crazy bat outside of my office. What? Oh my God. It's like Attack of the Ex-Wife all over again. Yo, back off, lady. And she's coming in there with her camera crew and everything. And this was the face of evil on Wall Street. This was the face of evil. This was no interest. This was the guy who in 2018 changed his company. He's testing his company with, as they say here, a different name. He replaced the board. And what did he do? And this was The Office, if you remember. And this is right off CNBC.com. Oh, and here she is. And the dude's coming out of his office. Like, you could tell it's a formal interview when you have the guy standing there with a phone in his hand like this, with a half open door next to him, with Michelle Caruso Cabrera telling you, "Why are you changing your name? Why are you mining Bitcoin?" Because that's what it was back then. That's what you were dealing with back then. And people have these short term memories. Traders, they have memories like goldfish. And these guys are probably like, hey, what's up? How do you feel about us now? How do you feel about us now? So, this article with Michelle Caruso Cabrera and, of course, CNBC painting, them. CNBC investigates. You didn't know? You thought they were a media company? No, CNBC, they're a law firm. They go out, they investigate corruption like mining Bitcoin. And they put Michelle Caruso Cabrera on the scene. That's what they do. You didn't know that? You didn't know that media companies investigate? You were unaware of that? Oh. This was February 16, 2018. And here's Riot Blockchain. I'll show you a weekly chart about it. So back then, this scam company, when they were doing this report, it fell. Riot shares were as high as $46. And back in February, it went down to $10.50. And people, they were pissed because their stock price went down. And here you have this dude changing the name of the company, buying ant miners. It's a type of dedicated Bitcoin miner. Mining Bitcoin. And the stock went down to $1.29. Even over here, during the COVID crisis, mining Bitcoin company Riot was 51 cents a share. That's not a joke. That is The week of March 20th, 2020, Riot hit 51 cents a share. Fast forward to a $60,000 Bitcoin, and Riot shares are now hit a high of $79.50. Can you explain to me why this company can't get to $90 to $100? I'm not putting price targets on it. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying you should buy it, but I'm asking, well, I guess I am looking at a price target that I think could happen. Why shouldn't this thing go to $90 or $100? What would be wrong with that picture? You know, the same scam artist with Michelle Caruso Cabrera. You know who she thought she was, Michelle Caruso Cabrera? You know who she thought she was? She thought she was April O'Neil from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and she was investigating corruption. What is Shredder doing with his organization next? Is that Bebop and Rocksteady? What is a rhinoceros and a hog doing with huge muscles destroying the planet? Let's figure out what's happening here, people. Are rhinos endangered species? Are we allowed to shoot Bebop and Rocksteady? Or just one or the other? So now you have a $60,000 Bitcoin. Why? Is it really because all these people were so intelligent and they really saw the future of blockchain? I don't think so. You want to know why these people are making money? Because the USA is going through its form of hyperinflation. Now, it's not going to get to the point of like the Venezuelan dollar where or the old German dollar where you could wallpaper your house. It's cheaper to wipe your ass in $100,000 bills than it is to use that money, buy toilet paper, and wipe your ass with something that has no ink on it. It's not. It's we're not at that point, so I don't want to take it to the nth degree. But I'm going to explain to you why I think Tesla's going to $1,000, and we're going to leave the politics right where they belong, out at the door. Okay. So right now we have an administration who canceled the XL oil pipeline. Fact. What does this do? Well, one side will be like, "Oh my God, it's costing this, it's costing jobs. It's this, it's this." Other sides, well, it helps promote clean energy, clean this, good for the earth, pollution. Yeah, okay. I don't care what you think. How many of you have been to the gas pump lately? Thank God you're trading now, Rose. Thank God you're trading now and you're not driving anymore. You know why? Have you seen gas prices lately? Have you seen them? Your gas prices, I got a prediction for you. I would be utterly shocked if you're not seeing $5 a gallon. Utterly shocked if you're not seeing $5. Oh, by when? By the end of this year, if not earlier. $5 a gallon. All of you. $5 a gallon. $5 a gallon. Each and every one of you. All right. Yeah. Some states will have cheaper oil than others. You might see six at some places and 4.5 at others. I don't know what the national average will be. I mean, I live in the great armpit of America in the state of New Jersey. It almost feels like when it smells so bad here. It almost feels like when you fart, like it's almost like, air freshener in a state like this. But oil prices aren't too bad here in New Jersey. They're not that bad. They're not that bad, right? They're cheaper than New York. Okay, coming from New York, they're cheaper in New York. My point is, with the $60,000 Bitcoin, what's happening? Well, we canceled the XL oil pipeline, is why you see the immediate price. We're throwing sanctions on Germany and Russia for their oil. We are single handedly trying to manipulate higher the price of oil. Fact. So while we're inflating money, we're printing, our $1.9 trillion. And again, I'm not here to force my opinions down your throat. I'm here to share my opinions with you, share the facts with you, share why I have opinions based on those facts, and you're entitled to believe whatever you want in your little bubbled world. You can disagree with me 100%. I respect that. But hear me out here. Here's a little company that nobody's ever heard of. Tesla. So let me get this straight. I'm going to share some facts about Tesla, and then I'm going to give you my opinion on it. Tesla sells for US dollars. Tesla stock sells for US dollars. $693.73 is where it closed. That's a very important part about where I'm getting at, ladies and gentlemen. So please bear with me. Bear with me with the semantics, won't you? We have a $693 stock. We are, this administration is single handedly jacking the price of oil. Do you remember the old green energy plans? Obama was the first really green president, right? Do you remember the biggest problem with his green energy plan? Do you remember? Oil was too cheap. It made no sense. It made no sense. Why do that when oil is so cheap? Well, you could talk about the pollution concerns and everything, and there's no arguing that, right? Oil causes more pollution. I mean, unless you want to consider electrostatic pollution, and it's a different kind of pollution from battery cars, but let's just talk about straight up air quality for the sakes of pollution. Why don't we? So you're trading in dollars. We're jacking up the price of oil by sanctioning other countries and killing the XL oil pipeline. We are full-fledged back in the Paris Accord, which again is what? I'm making it up. 12, 1300 pages. You want to know what I'm not making up? None of you have ever read it. That I'm not making up. So you got 12, 1300 pages of that. We're full-fledged going to be dumping in tuh, 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 trillions of dollars into the Paris Accord. And you know what this Paris Accord is meant to do if it actually does? I'm not talking about the end result about cooling off the earth some microfraction of a degree of Celsius in the next X amount of years. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay? That's not what I'm talking about. Let me tell you what I'm talking about, though. What I am talking about is higher oil prices, giving money to support green energy, printing and inflating the dollar. Somebody explain to me why Tesla is in $1,000 going to $2,000 right now. Explain it to me. Explain that to me. Okay. So, looking at a name like Tesla here, looking at a name like Tesla, I guess my point is it has all the makings to retest the all-time. I know Tesla was done for. It's no longer a company. It was at $900 at its all-time high. A month or so later, it hits $539. It gets sliced by a little, by what, 40% or so or more. It gets sliced by 40%. This company is done. There's going to be no more Tesla. That's it, right? However, fundamentally, ladies and gentlemen, nothing has changed with this entire market. Nothing at all has changed with this entire market. So, what is the point of everything I was saying? Don't always believe the naysayers. Don't always believe the investigative powers of CNBC and Michelle Caruso Cabrera. Do not believe the nonsense. Because Riot was the stupid company who was doing nothing but mining Bitcoin from 2018. Now they look like the smartest people on Wall Street. They were the biggest scam artists, name changers. They were making them out to be the worst people in the world. And CNBC was pretending to be, April O'Neil from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's who she was pretending to be. Notice how you've never seen her do anything like that ever again? I wonder why. I thought that was going to be the pickup of her career. You have people out there talking, talking about Tesla and the increased competition. It's true. Tesla is experiencing increased competition. That is a fact. Nobody can deny that. That is a fact. You know what happens when you experience increased competition? All of a sudden, every company wants to compete with you. What do you think that means? It means you're doing something not only right, but so right, and you are miles ahead of the field that you're pretty much untouchable, even with the increased competition. Don't take my word for it. There's a small little company you might have heard of called Netflix. And I'm going to show you a weekly chart of Netflix. And here's Netflix. And you want to know what happened with Netflix over these years? Amazon came out against them, one of the largest companies in the world. Apple came out against them, the largest publicly traded company in the world. Google came after them. Facebook is even coming after them in their own right, trying to now. You pretty much had every FANG name go after Netflix. The Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google. Netflix didn't go after themselves, but yeah. You had every single FANG name go after Netflix. And more. Disney, Hulu. Who owns Hulu? Roku. Everybody, other services started streaming. Tell me what that did to Netflix. Tell me how you really feel about Netflix's price with all the increased competition. Disney owns Hulu. That's a good one. Everybody was competing with them, right? Now we see the same thing with Tesla. Everybody, their pet parakeets, their grandmothers, their great aunt's next door neighbor, the rhinoceros that lives down the block who's hanging out with the hog with a submachine gun going after anorexic looking reporters like April O'Neil. Everybody's going after Tesla, right? Neo, the Chinese auto manufacturer Neo. Supposedly, Apple is making a car. You have smaller companies like Workhorse. You had the 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 Nikola and so many others. Battery makers. Even Baidu is saying that they're going to do things with electric vehicles. You have all these companies coming out after them. But I'll tell you, when it comes to electric vehicles, yes, I do believe these other companies can easily succeed. The one thing that you should not that I can't tell you what to do or think. The one thing that I'm not going to allow to clog my vision in Tesla, the thing that I'm not going to allow to cloud my vision here is what other companies are doing to compete with them. If a company is competing with you, it means you're doing everything right. That's what it means. It means you're doing everything right. And yes, I'd rather talk about it now, as it's a very beaten up name off of its all time highs that were very recent. I'll talk about it now. And the fact that you see Bitcoin continuing to go up is a matter of inflation. The fact that you see all these collectibles, the fact that you see all these things that are valued in US dollars going up is not really because they're becoming that much more valuable on their own. Yes, they are completely outpacing inflation. It's that people are scared for the future of their dollar. And that is why you see all of this money pouring into these collectibles because they'll never be made again. Some of these collectibles, that old baseball cards, they're not going to reprint the old baseball cards, they'll make new ones. All these comic books. Do you know that somebody, I know somebody, I'm not going to drop his name. He traveled to some state, Missouri or somewhere. He found that he traveled out of state to, I think he's from New York. He went to like Missouri. You know what he found in Missouri? He found an old copy. He found an old store there selling a Super Mario Brothers 3. Now, if you don't know what Super Mario Brothers 3 is, we're not hanging out for a beer. That's it. You're done. You're dead to me. No. But if you don't know what Super Mario Brothers 3 is, I will show you. Super Mario Brothers 3 used to be the old school Nintendo game that looked like this, right? It's an old game. At the time it cost, I don't know, 40, 50 bucks. Yeah, 40, 50 bucks. He found one that was in excellent shape. He sent it off to a grading company to see how good it is. It came back as a 9.8 grade. So, um, I think he ended up paying 100 or 200 bucks for it out of this old video game store in Missouri. What do you think that, and this happened like a week ago or two. We're talking the past couple weeks. What do you think that Super Mario Brothers 3 is worth now? You ready? About $100,000. From 2 weeks ago, he bought it. Two, 2 weeks ago. Not only that, people are buying digital collectibles. Collectibles, you know what? You have people like Jack Dorsey who's selling his first tweet. How do you sell a first tweet? Easy. You print something on a screen, you own it now. Here's a certificate. You know, it's funny, for 3 birthdays ago, you know what my wife got me? 100 acres of land. My wife bought me. Heck of a good birthday gift, right? 100 acres of land. That's a really nice gift, right, guys? I mean, what a wife I have, right? She bought it on Mars. She bought me 100 acres of land on Mars. uh, there's a specific part of Mars that I get. I hear it's really warm in the summers and completely cold in the winters and 100% radioactive all year round. And I don't know how I'm going to enforce it, because if a Martian wants to go there and sit on my property and take a Martian sized dump on my property, I'm going to be none the wiser. But I do own 100 acres of land on Mars. I do own 100 acres of land on Mars, and my wife bought it. Now, it's kind of interesting because I think that is actually something that physically exists. You can actually drop a rover there and do a video run of my property, and maybe the United States government would have to pay me money to be on my property. How does that work exactly? But people are selling digital content, they're selling digital currency. Yes, cryptocurrency is to me a digital currency. It's digital, it's made up. You can't hold it in your hand. You can't say, here's a Bitcoin. You can't look at it. You can't smell it. You can't, if you lose it, you're done. If you lose your little flash drive that has it, if the exchange in which is holding your Bitcoin gets hacked, you lose it forever. All this digital stuff is like, it's like one of those things that you used to do as kids. Like, you would fart in a bag, you would tie it up, and then you would pop it near someone. Like, no, that was a weird upbringing. Tough crowd. Anyways, what is the point I am making here? What is the point I am making here? The point I am making here is, with all this hype into things and in the future, Tesla is a real product. Where the government is trying to lean us now is towards the abolition, to completely abolish fuel. That is where we are leaning towards. And with trillions of dollars going into the Paris Accord, with prices of oils getting jacked up, with electric vehicles being, in my opinion, halfway through the first chapter of its future, I don't see any reason why Tesla doesn't retest the all-time highs post-split, of course, numbers we're talking. I don't see any reason why we don't test the all-time high of $900.40, and I don't see any reason why we don't go to $1,000. Bitcoin keeps going up. You want to know what's not going to happen? You're not going to see Bitcoin going up with stocks going down, in my opinion. You're not going to see you're going to see a direct correlation between the two from this point forward, because right now these stocks are rallying, in my opinion, based on inflationary issues, on printing too much money based on this COVID crisis. Thanks to this COVID crisis, I find it funny when people think like everybody knows exactly the right thing to do. I mean, nobody does. I mean, the government doesn't. You don't. We're all human beings at the end of the day. What do you think they're saying? All right, we, we've done our math. We've done our math. We've come to the conclusion that 1.9 trillion is all we need to do it. No, they're just throwing money at the. It's almost like you ever see those fire extinguishers where people put out the fires and they go and they spray that white foam stuff all over the fire, but they overshoot it by like 1,000%. They don't just put exactly enough to put out the fire. They put it all over the place, like, and they just make like this huge white, whatever chemical anti-fire retardant that they use to put out the fires, and it just covers the whole area. That's what we're doing with the market right now. We have a COVID crisis. We're throwing so much money at it that we don't even know if it's enough or we need more. We just say, look, it's almost like trial and error. It's like, let's throw 1.9 trillion and let's sit back and look. You know what Janet Yellen said? You know who Janet Yellen is, right? She says we will likely need, wait for it, more stimulus. The Federal Reserve chairman said we need more stimulus. So you have the top power in charge of monetary policy saying we need to dump more money into the market. And again, I don't agree or disagree. I have no idea what the answer is. I'm just honest about it. We have the top person in charge of monetary policy saying we need more. We have oil prices going through the roof. We have trillions of dollars being given to the Paris Accord for green energy initiatives. We have a lot of bills passing here for green energy initiatives here. Who do you think benefits from all? Can you name a company that will benefit from all four of those things happening simultaneously? Could you name a company? You have any idea what kind of company might benefit from the dollar being not worth as much? It's valued in US dollars. Green energy, oil jacking up. Do you have any idea who can benefit the most from a situation like this happening? And if you need any thoughts or any ideas on what's the best, to me, the best look at hyperinflation, the best look at hyperinflation, and I know some of you right now are saying, "Oh, Mark, you're crazy. A 9.8 Super Mario 3 for 100,000. You're crazy, Mark." Let me just. Here's an 8.5 for 80,000 if you're interested. Just if you're a little bit interested in graded, sealed Nintendo games. Just so we're clear. Do you wish you never opened it up as a kid? Do you wish you didn't tear that thing open to play Super Mario Brothers 3 and left it sealed? Do you? Okay. I think people a year or two from now are going to look at Tesla, and 2 years from now, I would not be surprised if this stock goes to $3,000, $4,000. I would not be surprised. I wouldn't blink because with the trajectory we're on right now, money just is losing its value. Money is losing. Good for you if you have a huge credit card debt or mortgage loans, because it's going to be easier to pay off, in my humble opinion, a year from now than it will be today. And just like I tell everyone, you have a $100,000 house, you have a $500,000 house. I think your $500,000 house, no way you're seeing less than $1.5 million, $2 million 2 years from now. No way. Being a millionaire is not going to be as big of a deal 2 years from now as it will today. Obviously, as time goes on. But what we're going through is we're going through a very unique rate. It's not just the fact that, yes, I know $50 50 years ago was worth, who knows today, right? I'm not stating just that obvious. What I am stating is that the rate of hyperinflation is on a trajectory curve, a parabolical trajectory curve in which it has never been on before. And that is bullish for the price of Tesla, the price of oil going up, the Paris Accord, and all the incentives to drive an electric vehicle in the United States. That's my point. What do you think of that? Do you disagree? Do you agree? You disagree? Want to follow the top room here in T3? You want to follow T3 Live's #1 trading room, most consistent trading community here? Do you want to? Links in the description. Even if you don't, I hope you do. I hope you guys enjoyed this video tonight. What are your thoughts on the matter? Do you think Tesla has all this potential benefit in which I see? What is your opinion on the matter? Happy trading, make money. I'll see you guys next time on the Newsbeat live trading broadcast.